In this video, I'll be demoing our RAB DF-MultiFence on my Festool Domino in hopes of showing you how easy our product is to use when you want to make perfectly flush joints on the ends of your project pieces. I'll also be showing you our DF offset shims in action as well, just in case you want to do a reveal on a cabinet or an apron on a table. But before I get to that, I would like to thank you for stopping by to watch this video. And if you're new to the channel and like what you saw here, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button before you go. So with that being said, let's begin. The DF-MultiFence is a sliding support for your Festool Domino. It attaches to the base of your DF500 or 700 with the included knobs. I know it looks similar to the actual Festool Domino Support, but as you can see, theirs is fixed, where ours can adjust to accommodate material up to 1.5 inches thick. But for this demo, I'll be using a single piece of the 3/4 inch plywood that I typically use in my projects. And yes, I made sure both surfaces were clean and free from debris before attaching and locking in the MultiFence to my DF500. Alright, so before I begin the actual demo, I want to walk you through what I did off camera just so we are all on the same page. You can see that I marked the pieces. I marked one side panel and one shelf. That'll just help clarify what I'm talking about in the video. I found and marked center on the side panel using my 6-inch pocket T-square. I used my new toy and I struck a 1/4 inch line on this reference face since I will be demoing our shims, and I'll be using the 1/4 inch shim to get an offset for you. So this is good to go. For the, I'll say the flush joint part of the demo, I want to have this be my outside face. So I will have to have, yes, this way, like that. So I want to reference this side of the face on my MFT when I do my mortises, like so, which I've already done. I used the 28mm depth setting, the medium size mortise. I will be using the tighter mortises on the side panel, and I'll be using 6x40 tenons in this little demo of mine. So without any further ado, as you can see, the MultiFence is very easy to use, and its large window makes lining up your marks just a breeze. With the mortises cut, let's put both pieces together and see how flush the joint really is, or isn't. Now as I run my finger across the joint, the only noticeable difference I feel is where the smoothness of the veneer meets the, I guess I'll say the fuzziness or fibers of the exposed plywood edge. I do not feel a lip or any noticeable ledge where the parts meet. Hopefully the following scenes will illustrate just how square and flush the joint really is. With the flush joint complete, let's move on to the offset shims. First I need to swap knobs to accommodate the thickness of the shims. Now I know I said I was going to use 1/4 inch shim, but I decided to use 2 16th inch shims and 1/8 inch shim. So in theory, that should give me a 1/4 inch offset. Let's see what happens. Now I typically use 0.5mm lead for my layout lines, but I decided to use 0.7mm lead so it shows up better on camera. So yes, you can see some lead peeking out from underneath the joint, but I'm going to use my Woodpecker's mini double square and my eye gauging calipers to show you just how close to a 1/4 inch offset I really have using shims made on a 3D printer.
Now this might be a little overkill, but I took a scribe and my Woodpecker's Pocket TS3 and I scribed a line 1/4 inch off the edge on another piece of plywood. Using the setup you just saw, you can see the face of the domino is in line with the scribed line. And no, I didn't move my camera to make it look like that. I hope I showed you just how easy our multi-fence was to use at making flush joints at the edge of your workpiece. Now I know some might prefer to use the Festool Domino Support and the flip fence on the domino for making those types of mortises, and that's okay. I'm not going to question a workflow that you're comfortable with. Now the offset shims. I know my offset was off by a hair, a little bit more than 1/4 inch, but honestly, the error was around 2/100ths of a millimeter. Plus, if you remember, I used 3 separate shims that added up to 1/4 inch, as opposed to using the single 1/4 inch shim. So I think that's more than acceptable and not too shabby for melted plastic. Now if you have any questions about the multi-fence or offset shims, please leave those questions down below and I'll get to those as soon as I can. I'd like to thank you for watching, and until next time, take care and have a good one.